once the heat really kicks in and gets going, and the humidity, pests are going to be on the prowl for your plants. One of them being on the tomato plant is this little guy. But boy, he doesn't stay little for very long. This is a hornworm. There's two different kinds. There's technically the tomato hornworm, and then there's the tobacco hornworm. It doesn't matter which one you have because they both love tomato plants just the same. So there's nothing to be afraid of. His little horn on the back here is nothing but a decoy. It's totally fake. They don't bite, they don't sting, and they're actually a very pretty little worm. And their feet are very sticky. But there he is, and he will get probably the size of my ring finger here. They get very large, and chickens love them. They have very big poops, so you want to check if you see clods of poop on your plant leaves, then you better be looking for him, because if you don't find him, you go to bed at night and come back and your tomato plant is going to be half or even completely demolished. I'm needing to spray my tomato plants again for worms. You need to treat your tomato plants every 5 to 7 days while they're active until you get them under control. Tonight I'm using some BT to control those worms. It's something that the worm will ingest, and it will destroy their digestive system and takes care of them pretty well. Another thing that I use a lot is called pyrethrin. It is actually condensed juice or oil from the chrysanthemum plant, and it also helps ward off a plethora of different kinds of bugs for organic gardening. If you're worried about whether something is organically approved or not, you want to look for the letters OMRI on your product somewhere. That stands for Organic Materials Review Institute, and that is the place that decides whether what you're spraying is organically approved or not. When you spray, you want to do it in the evening. Some people do it early in the morning. I still don't prefer to do that because I know that the pollinators are getting ready to wake up, and where are they going to head? Straight to all the blooms on the plants. I want to spray in the evening after the bees and butterflies have went to bed. They've retreated to wherever they're going to spend the night, and they're no longer active. That will give the spray enough time to dry on the plant, and then it will not hurt them by the time they visit the blooms in the morning. Another reason why it's a good idea to spray in the evening is because, for instance, a lot of home gardeners will like to use neem oil for their organic spray. It's effective. I have used it before and still do sometimes. However, keyword oil. So you know that when you take oil or a substance that's an extract that you're putting on your plant, in the heat of the sun, it can burn your plant. So in order to prevent that, you're going to do that in the evening. Again, it will be dry by morning, and then it'll be fine. But even in the morning, the mornings in the summer can get really hot, and that sun can be really beating down. It can be very hard on your plant, and we don't want to counter what our efforts are to get a great product out of our plants. So here's to organic spray and gardening, and we're going to get cracked in before it gets too dark. Another daily garden task is harvesting that squash. Sometimes it actually seems like you should maybe do it once every 12 hours or it'll get too big. So another thing I'm really excited about at our garden this year is that I've also treated the squash plants with pyrethrin and BT. It's the same way that I've treated the cucumbers and have seen no cucumber beetles. Well, this year I've treated the squash the same, and I have not had a single problem with squash bugs. This has been such a nuisance for us for so many years, and it's so exciting. I have not lost a single plant to squash bugs. So these are the measures that I have taken this year. So I treated with the BT and the pyrethrin, and I've only done that one time. I did that when the squash plants were just getting their true leaves. They were still adolescent and they had no blooms. And ever since, I haven't had to do it again, though I'm probably going to give them another treatment soon. Something else that we do with the squash plants, just because squash bugs have been such a nuisance for us for so long, they will take over very, very quickly. They repopulate at a very fast rate, and they will plant their eggs, lay their eggs underneath the leaves, which obviously you can't see any right now because there are none. So what we have done is I do make an exception for my squash plants and combating squash bugs, is I take some insect dust and just put it right down at the bottom base where the plant comes out of the ground right here, because the squash bugs love to live right here. This is where they burrow, and that's where they stay cool, and then they will come up to eat and lay their eggs, and then they will hide. That's their hideout down there, and they will go into the stalk of the plant and then just totally take the life right out of your plant. That is one thing that I've done. Another thing that I've done is I've planted these nasturtiums all along the squash. I have nasturtiums planted in between the squash plants, and I also have an entire row of nasturtiums running in between my summer squash and my zucchini. So with the flowers and with the little bit of dust and with the organic sprays, this year I have had a very successful squash production. Well, we're out here doing our daily duty of picking cucumbers. I'm pleasantly happy with the cucumbers that we're getting this year. We have fought cucumber beetles for the previous years. This year I have not had a problem with them. I'm so excited about that. What I have done for the cucumber beetles is I have sprayed with some pyrethrin and some BT. Probably more than likely it's the pyrethrin that is helping to ward them off. I have not seen a single cucumber beetle since I've been treating with that. Those two things, the pyrethrin and the BT, do not hurt the bees. I wish you could hear the buzzing of the bees throughout this cucumber tunnel. There are blooms, hundreds, maybe thousands of blooms. There's just little bees floating all over these blooms, just giving every bloom a little kiss. It's so rewarding. But and then also the pyrethrin and the BT is very easy on the plant. I was worried about cucumber plants being very sensitive because they seem to be very temperamental, but neither of those things bothered them. Just make sure that when you treat your plants, when you spray for things, you do it in the evening when your pollinators have gone to bed so it doesn't affect them and it is dry by morning. So what I am having a problem with this year, as you can see it, like right here, you can see it on these leaves. So it gets yellow on the exterior and then it starts to dry out and have a dry dead spot in the center. This is early blight. It happens to the oldest leaves first, so it's going to start at the bottom and work its way up. If this was a cucumber beetle destruction, The infection actually comes from the excrement of the cucumber beetle, and it infects your plant, so it can start anywhere on the plant. It can start at the top, the middle, the bottom, whatever. So you'll start to see this infection growing, starting at some random place in your plant, and not see the strategic movement from the oldest leaves from the bottom up, like would be with blight. If you have a plant that you know has been infected by a cucumber beetle, you need to get rid of that plant immediately and take it out of your garden, because it will spread to the others. In this case, what I did yesterday is I treated with some copper fungicide, and I will continue treatment until this stabilizes. Usually blight isn't going to totally kill out your plant, but it will inhibit its growth and its production. We have another friend in the chicken house, and he is in a nesting box with eggs, and you would think that he would be chowing down, or you might think, oh, it's the same one from last time, but we can tell that it's not. So let's take a look at him. He is in his cozy little corner just hanging out. We have to figure out how we're going to get him out of here. Well, great. Now what?
Well, if I could...
Ew! Oh, he's eating eggs and he's throwing them up. Hold him. This is the second time I've seen this, and I think that, I guess when a snake panics, they vomit, because that is the eggs that he has consumed. There's your confirmation that it's an egg. Chickens love eating them. Put your hand right underneath of it. Yep, keep it stable. There you go. All right.
It's alive.
Okay, put the lid on. Woohoo!
Next house done.